Welcome back to my channel. Students, in the previous class, we are discussed about programming constructs, right? So, we are implement a program by using a well-defined structure. So, if we are selecting a very good structure, then the program is very easy to develop and it is very easy to understand and it will give very good output from the program. Suppose we are selecting a poor structure of the program. So it will create so many errors. It is difficult to find out the errors and we are making error-free program. It is a very difficult task. So what are the three programming constraints we are used to develop the programs? Means the first one is a sequence construct, second one is a selection construct and third one is a iterative construct. So, we know the definition of all three constructs. Sequence construct definition you know, selection construct definition you know, iterative construct definition you know. Understood? So, we are discussed one by one. First sequence construct is first programming construct is a sequence construct. So, what is the definition of sequence construct? Sequence is the ability of a programming language. Sequence is the ability of a programming language to execute the statements. Or modules of a program one after the other from the beginning to the end. In the last class I will explain. So how many statements or how many instructions we are written in the programming language. All the statements should be executed exactly once from the beginning to end. It will not skip even a single statement in the program. All the statements will be executed once. It starts from beginning and hence to end. Understood? So here this sequence construct, it is a simple programming construct. This construct can be used to solve a very simple problems. So, it does not having any condition, it does not repeatedly execute the statements, it does not using any breaking statements. Understood? So, here the sequence construct can be used to solve a simple programs. So, this sequence constructs is executes efficiently. How it will execute? What is the flowchart syntax of the sequence construct and what is the programming syntax of the sequence construct? Here I will write. So, flowchart syntax. The flowchart syntax for sequence constructs is syntax means general format. So, general format anna ನಾವು syntax ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. General format ಏನಿದೆ sequence constructs ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ so we are written statement 1 or we are called as block 1 or by using alphabets we are written as block A, next block B, next block C, like that we are written n number of blocks. How many blocks we require to in our program? We are written that number of blocks. Here the last block I will mention by using the variable n. N represents a integer value, positive integer value. It will contain n number of blocks. So here first the block A statements are executed in our program. After completion of the block A statement, next the execution goes to block B. The block B is completes its execution, then the execution go to block C. After execution completes of the block C, next it will go to block D. Like that, each and every block should be executed. Last, the previous block will be completes its execution, then it will move to the last block. So, after execute the last block, it will generate the output of our program. So, execution starts with the first statement and ends with last statement in sequential order, one after the other. So, this is the flowchart syntax for sequence construct. Now we are written the programming syntax. Programming syntax for sequence construct is in a C++ program. How we are use the syntax? Statement A or statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, so on till statement N. See here, in the programming language, we are written instructions by using the statements in the form of statements. Statement 1 is execute first, after statement 2 is execute, later statement 3 will be executed, later it will execute the next statement, at last it will execute statement N. So this is the programming syntax of the sequence construct. Are you clear, students? So if they are asked 3 more questions, explain the sequence construct. Means first you write the definition. Sequence is the ability of the programming language to execute the statements or modules of a program one after the other from beginning to the end. So this is the definition of the sequence construct. Later we write the flowchart syntax for the sequence construct is block A, block B, block C, so block L. Each and every symbol we must connect by using a arrow symbol. The data is flowing in a single direction. The block A is execute first, block B is execute, after execute the block B, block C is execute, like that. After execute the previous block of N, then finally the block N will be executed. So this is a programming syntax for the sequence construct. In this programming syntax, first statement 1 is execute first, statement 2 is execute second, statement 3 is execute third, like that. The statement N is execute last. So each and every statement execute once, one after the other from beginning to end. So this is the explanation about the sequence construct. The sequence construct can be used to solve a simple calculations or simple programs. Write an algorithm and flowchart to explain how the sequence constructs or executes. Write an algorithm and a flowchart to find area of rectangle using sequence construct. Since you know the rectangle, this is called rectangle, right? So here opposite sides are parallel to each other. So we have taken the edges are A, B, C, D. Here AB is parallel to CD and AC is parallel to BD. So this is called as a rectangle. So what is the formula we are used to find the area of the rectangle? How to find area of the rectangle? We have taken length into breadth. So this is called as breadth and this is called as a length. By using length and breadth value, we have find out the area of the rectangle using the formula. Area of rectangle is L into B. We have multiply length into breadth, we get area of rectangle. So here L and B are the input variables, area is the output variable. This is called as a problem definition and problem analysis. So what is the problem definition? We need to find the area of rectangle using sequence construct. ಅಂದ್ರೆ sequence construct ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು shape area find out ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ರೆಕ್ಟಾಂಗಲ್ ನ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಏನೇನು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು, ಏನ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ನ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಲೆಂತ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಬ್ರೆಡ್ತ್ ಆಫ್ ರೆಕ್ಟಾಂಗಲ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಲೆಂತ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬ್ರೆಡ್ತ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ದ ಟ್ರಯಾಂಗಲ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಸರಿ. ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ರೆಕ್ಟಾಂಗಲ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್, ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಎರಡೂ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು. Then we go for the third stage. The third stage is we write algorithm and flow chart to design the solution. So first I will write the algorithm. Algorithm means it is a step-by-step procedure to solve the given problem. Step 1 is start. Step 2 is input LB. See here directly I will write the steps. Here I will not write the comment lines. Step 3, area equals to L into B. Step 4, output area of rectangle. The output variable is area. See the variable name here we have mentioned. This value is displayed here. After this text value. Step 5. Stop. We have come to the end of the algorithm. Then we are write a flow chart. The flow chart we are written using a simple slide. The oval used to write the start. The parallelogram used to write the input statement and output statements. Here we are read the input values L and B. Next, the rectangle symbol can be used to write the formula or calculation statements. Area equals to L into B. Again we are using the parallelogram symbol to display the output. The text value we are enclosed in a double quotes. Area of rectangle. Area of rectangle. The variable name area. Next, we are using the oval symbol to stop the flowchart. See here, we are implement algorithm and flowchart by using a sequence construct. Means, first it will execute the statement step 1, start the algorithm. Later it will execute step 2, read the input values L and B. So here I will give L value is 3 and B value is 5. It will read it L and B value. Later it will execute the step 3 in sequential order, one after the other. Step 3, it will calculate area. Area equals to L into B. So L value is 3, B value is 5. 5 3s are 15. This will be stored in the area variable. After executing this statement, it will go to the next step. Output area of rectangle is area. Area contains 15. It will give the output area of rectangle 15. So this output is displayed on the monitor screen. Then later it will come to the step 5 stop. ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್ ಇಂದ ಎಂಡಿಂಗ್ ವರೆಗೂ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದನ್ನೇ ನಾವು ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So here also the flow chart is begins. The data is flowed to next symbol. It will read L and B value. L value 3, B value 5. After that, LB values passed to the next symbol in a sequential order. Here, L value is 3, B value is 5. It will calculate the area value 15. So this 15 value is passed to the next symbol. Here, it will display area of rectangle is 15. After that, it will stop the flowchart. So this is the way to execute a sequence construct statements in our flowcharts and algorithms. Are you clear, students? The second one is selection construct. So what is selection construct? What is the definition of selection construct? Means selection is the ability of the programming language. Selection is the ability of the programming language to allow the users to decide on the execution of a certain set of statements or modules based on the requirement or condition. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗೋದು ಬೇಡ. ನಮ್ಮ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ್ದು ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸಾಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಯಾವ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ನ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? ನಾವು ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್, ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದನ್ 35 ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಪಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಲೆಸ್ ದನ್ 35 ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ನೋಡಿ ಫೇಲ್ ಅಂತ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ, ಫೇಲ್ ಅಂತ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು. ಅದು ಆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈ ಆದ್ರೆ ಆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದನ್ನ ಸ್ಕಿಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದು ಹಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. So selection is the ability of the programming language is allowed to the user to execute the to decide the execution of certain set of statements in a program based on user requirement or the condition. So this selection constructs or helps the programmers to take the appropriate path based on the requirements. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯೂಸಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಡೇಟಾ ಫ್ಲೋ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ನ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಕಡೆಗೆ ನಾವು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅದರ ಒಂದು ಪಾತ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Understood? The selection statements helps the programmer to take the appropriate path based on the requirement or condition. So, how we are selecting the appropriate path means we are passing the condition, right? So, the requirement of a selection construct is normally expressed in a condition to control it. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರುವಂತ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಆ ಕಡೆ ನಾವು ತೋರಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಸೊ ನಾವು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ದಟ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ಸ್ ದ ಡೇಟಾ ಫ್ಲೋ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. It will flows the data based on the requirement of the users. Understood? So we are passing the conditions. The conditions is controls and decides the data is flow in which path or in which direction. So this selection construct we can be used to implement the following statements. So selection statements we can implement by using the following different techniques and methods. So here the certain statements we are implemented using the selection construct. What all the statements we can be implemented using a selection construct means they are given only four statements. They are, first one is a simple if statement, second one if else statement, third one if else if statement, and fourth one is a multiple selection statement. Students, this is very important for 2 mark. They are asked, mention the different types of selection constructs or mention the different types of selection statements. So what are the 4 different types of selection statements? Simple if statement, if else statement, if else if statement, multiple selection statement. Here 2 types carries 1 mark. It is very important for 2 mark question. Okay. So here what are the different types of selection constructs or selection statements? Simple if statement, if else statement, if else if statement, and multiple selection statement. Now we are discussed one by one statements with the flowchart and example programming example. In this selection construct, first we are taken as the first type of a selection statement is simple if statement. So what is simple if statement? When the simple if statement we are used means this structure, the simple if structure, we are also called as one-way branching statement. So what is another name of simple if statement? One-way branching statement. Or so which statement we are called as one-way branching statement? Simple if statement. So this is important for 1 mark. They are asked, which statement we are called as a one-way branching statement? Answer is simple if statement. Or in other words, they are asked the question, what is another name of simple if statement? So answer is one-way branching decision structure or statement. Understood? So the simple if statement we are also called as one-way branch decision statement or decision structure. Why it is called as a one-way branching decision structure means, So this statement helps the programmer to decide. This statement helps the programmer to decide whether a particular set of statements should be executed or not. Means we are given one set of statements in a program. Program ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಒಂದು particular set of statements ಅನ್ನು ಬರೆದಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ particular statements execute ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಈ simple statement. Understood? So the simple statement helps the programmer to decide whether a particular set of statements are executed or not. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬರ್ತಿರ್ತೇವೆ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅನ್ನೋ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಾನೆ ನಾವು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಇಫ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ನೋಡಿ, ಈ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಇಫ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ತರ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಈಗ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ, ಲಾಕ್ ಡೌನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೀವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಮಗ್ ಬೇಕಾದಂಗೆ ಶಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಇವಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಡಿಜಿಟಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಡಿಜಿಟಲ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಥವಾ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಶಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಈ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಶಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಮ್ಗೊಂದು ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಇದೆ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಶಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಈಗ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಮೆಝಾನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಸೊ ಮೋರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ 500 rupees you purchase any item or any product, so they are given a free shipping, right? Less than 500 they are not given free shipping, they are include the shipping charge also. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಏನು, ಈಗ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಐಟಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರ ನೆಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ, 450 rupees ಇರುತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್. ಇದು ನಮ್ಗೆ 500 ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಶಿಪ್ಪಿಂಗ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಶಿಪ್ಪಿಂಗ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಕೊಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಐಟಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೇಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದಾನ್ 500 ಇದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಎನಿ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದಾನ್ 500 ಓನ್ಲಿ. Greater than 500 only, the shipping charge is free. So there is no shipping charge. Otherwise remaining things are same. ನೋಡಿ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನೂ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಏನು, ನಾವು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಂತ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ 500 ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಮಗೆ ಶಿಪ್ಪಿಂಗ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಯಾವಾಗ ಶಿಪ್ಪಿಂಗ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ 500 ಇದ್ರೆ. 500 ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ 1000, 1500, 5000, 10,000, ಎನಿ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ 500. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ the amount is greater than 500, there is no shipping charge. Otherwise the procedure is same. Understood? So in that situations we are used a simple if statement. The simple if statement can be helpful to the user to decide whether the particular set of statements are executed or not. It will decide it. Now particular statement execute ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾ ಬೇಡವಾ ಅಂತ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. Then what is the flowchart syntax for the simple if statement? The flowchart syntax for the simple if statement is, the flowchart syntax for the simple if statement or the general form of the simple if statement. Flowchart syntax means general format. The general format of the simple if statement is, so here we are past the condition. You know, rhombus symbol can be used to pause the condition in the flowchart. Is test condition. Is test condition. If this condition is true, it is decides to execute statement A. It is decided to execute statement A. If the condition is false, it will come the normal direction and it will execute the next statement in the program. Next statement. here. The continuity is that the flowchart is set somewhere else and the flowchart is sent somewhere else. But here we are written only for the simple if construct. A simple if ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೀವಿ. So here this is a simple if statement. Means we are using the keyword is in a flowchart symbol. Is we are passing the test condition. What is the test condition? If the product price is greater than 500. If it is true, then the data is flowing this direction. It is accepted the condition and it will reduce the shipping charge. Then it will come to the next statement and here there is no shipping charge and it will give a net amount to the transaction. Suppose the condition is false. The 450 is greater than 500. No condition is false. Then it is not go in this direction. It will come to this direction. It will include the shipping charge and calculate the net amount and do the next procedure. Means only one set of statements are executed in a program or not can be decided by using a simple if statement. So this is the flowchart syntax for simple if. So how we are using a programming syntax in a C++ program? Which syntax we are used to write a simple if statement? Programming syntax is if the keyword if, it is a small letters. Because if is a keyword, always the keywords we should return using a small letters or lowercase alphabets. Uppercase alphabets means capital letters, lowercase alphabets means small letters. If is a lowercase. Test condition. If it is true, here we are not using a semicolon because here the statement is not ends, it is having the continuity. If it is true, then it will execute statement A. Otherwise, it will come out of the if statement and it will execute the next statements in the program. It will execute next statements. See, this is the programming syntax for the simple if statement. In the if, we are passing the condition using parenthesis. So this symbols here are called as the parenthesis. So inside the parenthesis, we are passing the condition. If the condition is true, then only the statement A is executed. After the statement A execute, it will come out of the if and execute the next statement. Suppose the test condition is false. This statement is not executed. It will directly come out of the if and execute the next statements. Here only one possibility is that, so that's why the simple if statement we are also called as one-way branch decision statement. One-way branch decision statement means only one particular set of statements we should return in our program. Whether that statement is executed in our program or not, that can be decided by using a simple if statement. So that's why it is called as a one-way branching statement. Students, are you clear about simple if statement? Simple if statement we are also called as a one-way branch decision structure or decision statement. So this structure or statement helps the programming to decide whether a particular set of statements are executed or not. Understood? To decide whether the set of statements are executed or not in a program. In the next class, I will explain with an example. So how the simple if statement will be executed. Thank you, students.